Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video we will be doing the play example for the game Waterloo Campaign 1815 from C3i Magazine number 33. This is a Mark Herman design, and he provides a pretty good and lengthy play example here, so I figured that would be the easiest way to do this because this is a two-player game. But very, very soloable. I don't want you to get the impression that it is not. It's just that it's easier to do it or better. It's a better experience as a two-player game. I don't know why I'm belaboring that point. That's just how it is. So we will be playing the June 16th to 18th, 1815 scenario. This is the Waterloo Campaign. You are able to start actually a day earlier on June 15th, but for this example, we're going to play the 16th through the 18th. I doubt we'll actually get through, well, we're not going to get through the whole campaign. We'll run through as much of the example of play as possible, though. So this is the main scenario, and it begins one day into the campaign after the French have crossed the Sambre River. As it turns out, the key day of the campaign was not the 18th, which was the Battle of Waterloo, but June 16th and the twin battles of Quatre Bras and Ligny, where the ideal conditions for a decisive victory created by Napoleon went astray due to poor staff work, Ney's mistakes, and the Emperor's inability to make up for the collective friction this imposed on his well-conceived plan. So this is a 6-turn game, and there will be AM, PM turns for each of the 3 days. We'll start on turn 3. The turn track, the player aid card, is off camera. You can kind of see the edge of it along the right side over here. Turn 3 is in this area right here. So I will I'll take some stills probably as we go along and throw those in so you can see the see that turn track as opposed to like moving the camera around. Everything is set up. We will be getting underway here momentarily. Our special rules, there are for June 17, which is turns 5 and 6. We have a deluge at the beginning of these turns. The French player rolls a die. 1 to 4 will be rain. And units in advanced formation that move off a road immediately flip to battle formation. So basically your movement is nerfed pretty solidly there. 5-6 has no effect. Artillery ricochet ineffective on a turn after it rains and per the TEC. The attackers subtract 1 from their attack roll due to soft ground. So yeah, cannonballs aren't going to bounce in soft ground. They'll just stick, I guess, is the point there. So examples of play. At the beginning of the June 16-18 scenario, starting on turn 3, you are instructed to skip HQ placement, blown unit recovery, and cavalry corps recovery. You are told to begin with the detachment placement, and the French player places up to 1 detachment per HQ. The French can choose to place 2 detachments from their allowed maximum of 3. For the first detachment, they choose to play Ney headquarters as the point of origin to trace a path of hex unfettered by enemy zone of control or zone of influence, and the placement hex can't be in an enemy or friendly zone of control or influence. So the French would like to place the Piré detachment in 2315 Revis. So 2315 right here. But as you can see, we've got French Guard cavalry is there because that would be in its zone of influence. So we have this right here. Guillot has Guard cavalry there. The zone of influence extends out to the town of Réveil. So we can't put it there. So we have to place it in hex 2314 here. So that would be this guy right here. We're going to put him right, is it 2314 is right here. Okay. For the second placement, the French choose Napoleon. He's down here. Who traces along roads 15 hexes to hex 2421 where the Lefebvre detachment is placed. 24, 21, right here. Now you may wonder, how does that work? Well, you go up the roads, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That works out. Now it's the coalition players' turn. The coalition has the Wellington and Blucher headquarters. The Anglo-Allies place Frederick detachment in hex 2715. So here's Frederick. 2715 is going to be here at Hauteuil-Laval. You can see he's outside. Well, he doesn't have a zone of control. But if this was an actual unit, he would still be outside of his zone of influence. That's going to hold their right flank to forestall a quick French flank attack on Quatre Bras. Note that because Wellington and Blucher are on their battle mode side, and that should be like turned over like that. And where's Blucher? Here he is. He is on his battle mode side as well. I did not set that up. So they're on their battle mode side. You'll notice the biggest difference is that you see the stars and they have a 3 for range. And they cannot use roads to double the range of their HQ because of them being in battle mode. So Blucher will place the Perch detachment in hex 2222. That's going to be right here. Now we go to step E, which is our detachment recall. The coalition player decides to recall the Colère detachment, which is located in hex 1211. So 1211 is right here. So he's going to pull this guy off. Now you can't pull it off and put it right back on. They have to wait until next turn. They will be available for placement starting next game turn. The organizational phase has 3 steps. In step F, any infantry corps that is not in an enemy zone of control, and this is a change from Gettysburg where it was zone of influence. So they can be in a zone of influence in this game, but not the zone of control. And in battle formation can flip back to advance. There are only 2 opposing units in each other's zone of control, which are the Prussian First Corps, which is Ziethen here, and he should be in battle mode, and so should he. So these are the 2 guys we're looking at here. We've got Ziethen and Grouchy. Cavalry units are unaffected, and Ziethen must remain in battle formation. So he actually, that's the exhausted side. So that's not battle mode. Cavalry doesn't have a battle mode. They have a regular side and an exhausted side. Okay, step G, any units in enemy zone of controls that are in advanced formation rather, must flip to battle formation, but no units meet this condition. So we go to step H, withdrawal, starting with the French. Units in enemy zones of control can conduct a retreat to enable future movement in this game turn. The French choose to have their cavalry corps, Grouchy, withdraw 3 hexes to hex 1918. So 19 is this row, so he's going to go 1. How's he going to do that? 1, 2, that's 4 hexes by my count right here. 1, 2, I don't know. We'll put him here. Oh, actually, it's 1919. That's a misprint because it does reference the town of Hepines, maybe. That's not a name I'm going to get correct, most likely. Okay, so no other units are in an enemy zone of control. So that ends that step. So now we start with the main elements of our game turn. Both sides conduct alternating moves during the movement phase. Once movement is concluded, there will be an attack phase followed by an end phase concluding the game turn. Movement phase. There are a large number of strategies and supporting moves that can be made. Mark writes, it is not my intention to explore even a small amount of the possibilities. My intent is to make a number of moves that are legal and illustrative of those made on June 16th, which will lead to the twin battles of Quatre Bras and Ligny. So the French will move first and send the Guard Cavalry Guillot from Fragnes to hex 2516. So that's here. There. So he'll go here. This move has 2 purposes. First, it opens the road for the Second Corps, Riel, which is down here under Ney, to advance on Quatre Bras, which is right there, because they can go up here, because you can't stack units, nor can you move through other units. So with Guillot being in Fragnes, I don't know, Riel couldn't go up there, couldn't go up the road, because he would have to go over there, or go off the road and go around, and you can't do that. So that opens that up. This was necessary. This he explains just what I just explained. So now we go back to the coalition plan because you alternate. So the French will go, then the Allies will go, then the French will go, etc. The coalition player moves, and they choose to move Zethan back towards Saint-Amand, but with a movement of 1 because of the being in battle formation. Zethan first moves to 2022. So that would be this one right here. He's in battle formation, which means he cannot use the road, in case you're wondering why he didn't go to 2023. That is why. The French now move Riel north along the road to hex 2517. So we're going to take Ney and leave him there. I'm going to go up the road 1, 2, 3. Now, because we're in the zone of control of the detachment, detachments don't have a zone of control or a zone of influence, but it does have a zone of control. So when we get next to him, we still have to flip over to battle mode. Okay, so the coalition continues, or chooses to continue Zethan's movement to Saint-Amand, which it now does. So he's going to move up into Saint-Amand. Saint-Omo maybe, Saint-Omo. Coalition, yeah, the coalition chooses to do that. It's important to note that in this game you may move the same unit any number of consecutive times until it enters an enemy zone of control or zone of influence when its movement is finished or the movement phase concludes. So now there will ensue a series of moves that I will not describe in detail, but broadly the French split their forces into 2 wings, the right wing attacking the Prussians in the vicinity of Ligny, and the left wing attacking the Anglo-Allies at Quatre Bras. Okay, so I have kind of fast-forwarded here. So you can see we've got a lot of moves on here that have been made, and you can see the battle is forming up here. It's like twin battles, right? So Ligny's over here, and Quatre Bras up here. So Quatre Bras, where the French and the Anglo-Allies are going to meet up. And then over here, we have the Prussians that will be meeting up basically with Grouchy's right wing. Ney is in command over here. Napoleon remains down there in Charleroi. So, and Blucher up here, Wellington there. You've got the picture. Everybody's in battle mode. That should be. So we're basically ready to fight. And so after all of these moves, the coalition player was left with one unused move. So he passed. And that brings us to the battle phase now, or the attack phase. So the attack phase begins with the French Guard attacking Saint-Amand, Prussia Zethan's First Corps. So that is right here. French attack has a +5 battle modifier. That comes from the guard unit having 2 stars. So our guard unit is right here under Drouot. And then you have support from 2 adjacent corps in Lobau and Vandamme. And you have Grouchy support. You can flip him to exhausted. So that gives them a total of 5 because you have 2, 3, 4, 5. The die roll is French 4, Prussians 3. So that ends with the with your modifiers. That ends up being a differential of 3. So Zethan's Corps is blown and removed from the map and placed on the game turn track to return on game turn 5. So since we are in game turn 3, it's 2 turns in advance. So we take Zethan here because he has been blown. So he's out of action for the moment. And he goes on the turn track in turn 5. And if I pick this guy up, you can see. So you can see now we place him here. I'll actually flip him to his other side. But we're in game turn 3. You would track your moves here. So once somebody passes, the other one will do a roll to determine how many extra moves they have. That's when we were moving, and I did it all off camera. Basically, the coalition, the French passed, the coalition rolled. They ended up with 1 extra move after they did all of their moves, and so they then used that to basically retire and go to the attack phase. Since the guard here is not in an enemy zone of control, it must advance, has to, that's a must in capital letters, must advance into the town. So they go into the town. Okay. Now the coalition player does not wish to make any attacks and they pass. The French then roll a 2. So you would roll a die. Again, this is to determine how many moves you get. So it tells us we get a 2. So we have a 2. Now with the 2, they can make 2 more attacks. The French now attack Ligny, the Prussian 2nd Corps, which is right here, where Perch is. He has no stars. They're going to use Van Damme. So they get a +3 because Van Damme has 1 star. He has 1 supporting corps, and that would be Drouot. And then we can use Grouchy's exhausted cavalry again to get a total of 3. Versus a Prussian 3, same as the previous attack. Now, you might wonder where the Prussian 3 comes from. It comes from the terrain, since they don't have any stars. So here you have your attack summary. So terrain, the defender adds 1 to its defense roll for terrain. Okay, so they do get a +1 for being in the town. Then you can see here battle stars. You add your battle stars. The defending unit adds its battle stars. They actually don't have any. Then you have cavalry corps, fresh and exhausted, attacker support, and then cavalry support. So the defender adds 1 for each cavalry corps, which they have right here in Gneisenau. And they also get a star for Blucher being there as well, because he's in range. His range is 3. He's in battle mode, so that gives them an additional star. So that's where they get their 3 from. And so we have our die roll now. And the French again roll a 4, and the Prussians roll a 3. So just as they did before, that's a differential of 1, resulting in Perch retreating 3 hexes toward and past Blucher's headquarters. So he would do this. He would go 1, 2, 3, and stop there. And then Van Damme advances into Ligny, which is why it was chosen over the guard that's in the cavalry zone of control, preventing an advance. So we chose to use Van Damme rather than Drouot because Drouot was in the zone of control of Gneisenau's cavalry, so he could not have advanced into Ligny, but Van Damme could. So even though we gave up a battle star here, we gained the ability to, or the French, I should say, since we're playing both sides, the French gained the ability to advance into Ligny. One of the advantages of this successful advance is Grouchy's reserve cavalry corps is no longer in a zone of influence, so it will refresh during the beginning of the next game turn. So he's protected back here, unlike Gneisenau, let's say, and so he is okay to, and I forgot to mark him as being exhausted because he was used in support. So he's also marked exhausted. But he is in the zone of influence and zone of control of both of these units. So he's in the zone of influence of Lobau as well. It doesn't matter if it's more than 1, but he won't be able to refresh in that position, whereas Grouchy will. Okay, the other French attack is at Quatre Bras. So I missed one unit. Bülow, who starts over here in the corner, he actually advanced and got to right here. He's in that hex. So he avoids being in the zone of control of that detachment, Lefebvre's detachment. So Bülow is there as kind of their backup reserve. And this is the end of your battle for Ligny. And now we'll go over and look at the battle for Quatre Bras. So the French choose to use Riel as the attacking unit because it's adjacent to the French Guard Cavalry Corps, which will support the attack with a charge. The French have a +2. So here's Riel right here. He has no stars. They do get a +2 because they have Girard and the French cavalry here. Give him 2. So the French cavalry will get flipped. The Guard cavalry here under Guillot will get flipped to exhausted. The British have a little bit of an advantage here. So you have Orange, who gets a 2 for defense now, or 2 stars rather. He's also got support behind him in Wellington's reserve, and his terrain is open, which doesn't give him any advantages. Now, he doesn't have any cavalry there. So he's got 2 stars here, plus 2 there, plus Wellington is a total of, well, he's got the Wellington HQ. So 2, 4, 5 is what he's got. The detachment does not provide support. So he's got a 5, and Riel, as we know, has a 4. Oh, he's only got a 2. What am I talking about? So he's got 2, and he's got 2, 4, 5. So it's a -3. The French roll a 6, which is great, but the British roll a 4. The Anglo-Allies roll a 4. And so with their +3 advantage on DRMs, they actually win. And Riel must retreat 3 hexes, so he will go 1, 2, 3, and be back under Ney. Maybe I'll put him on top. See, Ney is not in battle mode there either. So this concludes the 2 French remaining attacks, and the turn ends, or the attack phase ends, rather. With the end of the attack phase, there's a brief end phase, as the French Grand Battery is not in play, and this is not the last turn of the game. The game turn concludes. The player should now move the game turn marker to turn 4, and begin a new complete game turn. During the course of game turn 4, the Anglo-Allied Uxbridge Cavalry will enter play. That is up there. So that is the entirety of the play example. You get 1 full turn. Hopefully that proves helpful in demonstrating how the game works and so on. So that you know, if you have not played and you're looking for, you know, a little bit of a relatively quick look at how a game turn operates. The main things to remember are when moving, you cannot, once you enter a zone of influence, you must stop. If you enter a zone of control, you go to the battle mode side. And if you're in battle mode side, you can't use road movement, and your movement is limited to 1. So obviously when you're in march formation, like say Hill over here, because Hill has a 4, but if you flip him over because he's in battle mode, he has a 1. So he was here, I think. So that will do it. I hope that was useful. This was a quick look at a gameplay example for Waterloo Campaign 1815. Again, this is in C3i issue number 33. It was also released as a boxed edition, which I believe is completely sold out. That is what I was told anyway, by the fellows at C3i, so I am taking them at their word. But you may be able to pick it up, you know, secondary market, eBay, Noble Knight, etc., etc. One of those folks may have it. Or you can play the magazine version, which is pretty nice. You can see it here. I did clip the counters, but the counters are very nice. These are basically very, very quality counters. You can see it's really, everything with this component-wise is great. For a magazine game, the components in this game are fantastic. He was down here, I think, or was he up? I don't remember where he was. I guess it doesn't really matter. But that's the end of the game here, the end of the video. It's not the end of the game, but it is the end of the video. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to post comments, questions, etc. Let me know what you think. I will reply back as best I can. And that's going to do it. Please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. If not, even if you do choose not to do one of those things, I would gladly hope that you will come back and check out something else down the road. But for now, we are done, so get out of here. My name's Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel, and until next time, as always, happy gaming.